welcome to the table, y'all. Shout out to Boss Lady, Rashida, Quinn. They had to go out of town. So we'll see y'all next time on the next episode. All right, y'all? All right.
Miss you guys.
Miss you guys. All right. So, how y'all doing today?
Great.
Good. So, Tina, I want to start with you. I want to introduce yourself, let everybody know what you're smoking and all that good stuff.
I'm Tina. Today I'll be smoking Fat Bottom Betty, which is a 54-inch gouge, about 5 inches long. The binder and filter is still a mystery. Nobody really knows because the company won't release that information. It's been a couple of guesses, but actually nobody really knows.
Nobody knows.
And it's a sweet cigar. It gives you kind of a hot pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg kind of flavor.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Like a dinner cigar.
Okay. I'm going to come to the guest in a minute. As far as myself, I'm smoking a Trinidad. The Volume 2 is a Maduro. It is a Nicaraguan origin. It's a Maduro stick. It is a Brazilian wrapper, Nicaraguan and Brazilian filler. And it's a really good full body. It's an earthy stick, but it's a really good stick for me. It's probably one of my favorites lately since it came out. What about you, ma'am?
Well, I have here today that, what is it? Brick House. It's Maduro. It's the medium as far as the taste. It's cocoa. Really nice flavor.
Yeah.
I like to say it's Brazilian. And the wrapper, yeah, that's the wrapper, it's Brazilian. And it's a 6.5 by 60. But a good smoke for a new beginner.
Okay. All right. And our guest, we have Miss Dana Jackson, we have Big Sid, and we have Boogie. Welcome y'all to the table.
Thank you.
So glad y'all came.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so can you tell me, Miss Dana, what you're smoking today?
Well, you know what? My go-to is normally a Fat Bottom Betty, but I chose to go with this Acid Toast today, which has become another one of my new favorites. It is a sweet cigar from the Drew State line, and I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I know the binders and the fillers and all of that stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I know I like it.
Right.
All right.
That's all that matters. What about you, Sid?
I'm smoking the Brick House Maduro, just like this young lady over here. So that's one of my daily smokes, and
It's a good everyday smoke.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, and what about you, Boogie?
I'm on Asylum 13. This is my first time trying it, and it's good. It's rich. It's a dark roast. Give me a little buzz too at the same time. So it's good. I mean, I'm used to, smoking, the LFDs and the T52.
Yeah, the Ligas.
The Liga provider,
Yeah.
man. The Liga provider. Yeah. So, hey, that's my go-to. But right now, I just try something different. I try different sticks all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to see what what it be like.
Right.
But this is good right here so far.
Okay. So, that's a good thing. So, kind of what you were saying, that's your first one, and you're being a newbie and things like that. So, what I'm going to do is I haven't cut my stick yet because I kind of want to do a cut and light for those newbies out there who don't know, the correct way to cut and light a stick. So, usually...
Of course you do.
Of course I have a lighter. So, my preferred cut is a V cut. So, there's many different cuts. You have a punch, you have your straight guillotine cut, and then you have a V cut. And some people get fancy and do a double V, crown cut, whatever they want to call it. I prefer a V cut. Yeah, you got one too. So
Yes,
you want to make sure there's a cap right here at the top.
Gotcha.
And so you never want to go below that cap because then your stick will start unraveling.
Right.
So you want to make sure, usually most cutters have like a little thing so you can't go too far. Right. So you just take it and you want to do a clean straight cut through, and it's going to give you a good nice cut.
Yes.
And then do that. So, and then also you want to toast the foot of the stick. And this is the foot, not the head. So I heard it called the head before, and I'm like, this is the foot. So we toast it, and you want to get a nice little amber color around, and then
you go.
That's how you do it.
Roll it.
Great light.
Catch all that. That's what I'm
Roll
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Great light.
Good burn. Good burn, baby. Good
And then
burn.
I like to blow at the end because if long as it lights up all around, that's how you know it's fully lit and it's fully hot, and it's going to give you your nice burn and your
Correct.
a nice good smoke. All right, so now that we got that out the way, oh,
Correct way to cut and light
yeah, the
cigar.
correct way to cut, and things like that. So since we have a singer, two, artists, they said here, I want to talk to them about their careers and the things that they like to do, as far as smoking and things like that.
Dana, how did you get started in the business?
In the business of
Radio, TV, music. all
okay, well,
around.
first of all, for those who don't know, I have been a long time DJ at Magic 102.1 here in Houston. And since COVID started, have been on furlough. So right now I'm not working for the station, but I got started, well, in college I majored in radio, television, and minored in music at the University of Texas at Arlington. And then later I transferred to TSU. I wound up at Magic 102.1. It's an interesting story because at the time I was singing with a band called Commercial Art, and we happened to be performing at the International Festival downtown. And on the way down there, I'm listening to the radio, and I heard Candy Eastman on the air talking about she was giving away some tickets for something or whatever. So after my sound check, I went over to the Magic 102 booth and met Candy Eastman and everything, and we talked. She had me talk on the radio, and she was like, you sound like you need to be in radio. And I told her that I majored in radio, but I'm not working in radio or whatever. And just so happens she was looking for a producer for her show. And we exchanged numbers, and she called me, and I ended up being her producer. And that's how I got into working for Magic 102. But I did major in radio, television in college.
Great. Dana, also with being a DJ, do you prefer the client to give you the playlist, or do you come up with your own flow? Which one works better for you?
It depends on the event. Now, when it comes to commercial radio, that's a whole other thing. You have programming and all that kind of stuff. But as a DJ for an event, for a wedding, a birthday party, a festival, festivals usually you have your own free will to do what you want to do. But a wedding, they're always going to have, most of the time, have at least a playlist of songs they want to hear throughout their reception. Or if you're doing the actual ceremony or whatever. So it just depends on the event.
Okay. Well, Miss Dana Jackson, you also sing out here.
Houston's only singing DJ.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Go,
And
Dana.
for those of you that didn't know, she also sings at big events, okay? And private events.
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us history on how long you've been smoking, and are you a newbie or?
Oh, I'm a newbie because
Alright.
as a singer, this is not something that I do every day. This is a weekend, special occasion type of thing. But I told you ladies this earlier that I actually hated cigars for a long time. First of all, my first experience smoking a cigar, I got sick. Because I tried to inhale it and it made me sick to my stomach. So I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. And then of course, because I'm a singer, you try to stay away from smoke. But in the last several years or so, I joined a motorcycle club. I ride motorcycles, in case y'all know.
Okay.
I ride with True Cons MC. And a lot of my brothers and sisters in our club smoke cigars. And so I've kind of become accustomed to smoking cigars when I'm hanging out on the scene and on the set. So yeah.
Well, that kind of coincide with the next question.
Yeah.
What do you think about women in the cigar lounges today?
I think that it's empowering. In the same way that you see a woman on a motorcycle. Right.
Wow.
I think that's a strong image, and I think a woman smoking a cigar is the same strong image.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I have a question for you as well. I know you DJ, you sing, the only singer DJ, and by the way, you're very good. Very good. I've heard a couple of things. How did you get involved in the cigar community? Was it just
Through my motorcycle
Through
club,
your
because most of them are cigar smokers.
okay?
And so, I was always shy away from it for a while. And then, somebody introduced me to a Groovy Blue.
Right.
And that was like my introduction cigar. And then I was still like, okay, it's all right, whatever. And then one of my members said, wait till you try Fat Bottom Betty. And at the time, they were hard to find. And so when I finally got one, I was like, ooh, I like this.
And they are.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah,
So that was kind of, my introduction into actually learning about cigars, learning what I like, what they're made of, where they come from, what kinds of cigars there are. And I've learned that there are thousands and thousands upon thousands of different cigars. So I was like, okay, I can do this. It's smooth. It's not too harsh. I could smoke, one of these every couple weeks or something, or a couple times a month, and I don't think that it will, be too hard on me.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And with Big Sid,
Yeah. Tell us
What's up,
about
what's up?
yourself. What is it that Big Sid does, and what do you like to do and smoke and all of that good stuff?
I just like to spin music, enjoy life, have fun. I've been smoking cigars since 1998. This was like back in the Enron days. I used to work in Enron, and they told me, man, that's a powerful thing, a way to network, and I've been hooked.
Okay.
And I smoke daily, so I enjoy it.
Let me ask you this: how did you get into DJing and things like that?
I started back making mixtapes and cassettes and stuff like that back in the 90s.
was you
Yep,
selling
me
them out
too.
the trunk? Was you
Me
selling
too.
them out the trunk of your car?
Hustling,
Yeah.
duplicating. and all
Most
that.
DJs made mixtapes. We made mixtapes back in the day.
So I started back as a mixtape baby.
Yep.
I was in the bedroom for a long time, and then about 6 years ago, I saw an avenue. Shout out to my boy DJ Remarkable. He was doing Smoke Ring, and I noticed that he would put on a mix before he started the show. So I just asked him one day, could I open up for him, do that little, hour set for him, and it just took off from there. Now I'm doing my own thing right now.
Okay. And yourself, Boogie? Tell us about what it is you got going on and what you do.
I'm right now. I'm the CEO of Heavy Empire. And we do all type of different genre of music. And our first project was Code Dix, Mr. Cigar Music, Mr. DJ himself.
Okay.
And the project was great. We had K Reno on it, and rest in peace to Grim. We had an artist Grim that was on the song. He was part of Heavy Empire. And it was me, Big Walt, Big Country. Everybody know Big Country.
Yeah.
And Big Baby, and also Lump, Big Lump. So we put this thing together 3 years ago. Well, I've been had Heavy Empire for over 10 years. But I figured to get with the guys, that we all come together in the cigar world, because I met these guys through smoking.
Right.
Smoking and stuff. So we started it like that. And what happened was how I ended up rapping. I've been rapping for ages. I've been rapping for over 30 some odd years. People don't know that.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
I had in New Orleans, I built a big rapport. Most of the rappers that come from New Orleans, I had my hand in it.
Okay.
That's another long story.
Yeah.
But I done sat down and done major deals with record labels for artists. I did a lot of marketing promotion. I used to work for No Limit. I used to work for Cash Money. I worked for Big Boy Records. I DJ'd at the same time. I could still DJ, but I let the other people do that. But as far as me, I have a project that I'm finally getting to do. It's going to be 2 projects in one, and the first one is going to be called The Good, The Bad, The Boogie.
Okay.
This thing is what I'm doing. It's going to be more of my dance type music. I'm from New Orleans. We're on that bounce.
Yeah.
But my style is not. I'm not doing all that chant what they do with the bounce music, but it's the music and the way I rap. You know what I'm saying? So the first single is Make It Bounce. Matter of fact, I just shot the video.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you
Thursday.
that.
Yeah, I just shot the
Did you
video
just
last Thursday.
had something major?
And the release of the single will be out June 4th, along with the video.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations on that.
And it's going to
Congratulations.
be worldwide.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
look forward to
worldwide. I'm with distributed. We distribute it through XLP, and they're a subsidiary of Rock Nation. So if y'all know who Rock Nation is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's big time.
Also, I'm working on another deal with the media for heavy media, and I have all different types of other businesses that I own as well. So I'm busy, but
Yes, you
the
are.
single that I'm dropping is hot. And
Right.
when y'all
It
hear this,
is,
y'all
it
know
is.
The interviewer in me is like, oh God, I would have asked him so many
I have-
questions
I
right
have
now.
had-
I want to talk to him, but I'm like, okay,
Okay.
this ain't my interview.
All right.
I've
So,
had the pleasure of hearing a sample of that song.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's hot.
okay.
It's hot. You bounce music, it's hot. I mean, I was shocked because I met Boogie just as Boogie. I
Right.
didn't know
Right.
Boogie did all the things that Boogie do.
Right.
So when I heard it, I'm like, yo, who is that?
Yeah.
And they were like, that's Boogie. I'm like, Boogie?
Yeah.
But it's a shocker. Yes, it was
Yeah, it-
really,
it
it's
go
hot.
way
So,
back.
Boogie, let me ask you, who's your biggest influence in the music industry?
Biggest influence in the music industry, who really got me started, really
Yeah.
made me want to do it. My mama. She used to in the morning when I was young. Them damn 8-tracks. You know you had to get up and clean up. You got Al Green playing on the 8-track. Yeah, I'm old, y'all.
That's okay. That's all right.
You know,
That's all right.
Al Green
He didn't say
playing on the
CD, he said the
8-track.
A-track.
Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, I'm from New Orleans, so we're Maze people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maze playing live in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm hearing all that and getting influenced by them, the type of sound and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then when it came to the rap, you know, the first thing I bought was Rapper's Delight. That
Yeah.
was my first purchase
Right.
Wow.
of rap music was Rapper's Delight.
Rapper's Delight.
You know,
That
and I can
brings
go
back
all the
memories.
way
Oh,
back.
what?
And who influenced me more to do what I do was basically where I get a lot of my style and accolades from. It's from Notorious B.I.G. When I seen
Okay.
him, when I seen how they put him out, and he was not a handsome guy, big guy.
Yeah.
Him and Heavy D,
Yeah.
I took a hold of that. I was
Yeah.
a big fan of Heavy D.
Okay.
That's where I get my dancing from. But that's why my name is Boogie, because I do a lot
Dancing.
of dancing.
Okay.
And since I was young,
Okay.
you know, that's where I get it from. That's where my nickname. I've been Boogie since I was a kid.
Nice.
Because I always dance.
Okay. Well, what about you, Miss Dana? What is your biggest influence?
I would have to say my father and my uncle, because I grew up in Detroit, first of all. I'm not a native Houstonian, but I've been here most of my life now. I've been here since I was 12, so yeah. But growing up in Detroit, first of all, my father was a singer and my father was a DJ.
Ah,
So that was my first introduction, and I'm just like you, music in the house all the
Household.
time, albums all the time. And then
Yeah.
my uncle's a musician, and he had a band that used to rehearse in my grandmother's basement all the time. So me and my older brother Mark, we were like magnets and students at soaking up. You know, every time they would rehearse, we down there watching them rehearse. And then when they're not there, we down there trying to play the instruments.
right.
So that, you know, music has been in my blood since birth.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I have
Beautiful
a
thing.
question for you, Sid. When you're selecting your music for an event, how did you go about designing that playlist?
Right.
What I do is I imagine myself being at that party, and then I just think about all the music that people enjoy, and I usually create a playlist with like 300 songs that I know people love, and I'll sit there that entire week and try to break it down to maybe 100 that I know people will really, really enjoy, and I start from there. Then the rest is just freestyle. You know, we just freestyle.
Yeah.
I love
You
hearing
pay
that
attention to
play.
the crowd, what they bobbing their head to, what they dancing to, and you just go from there. But
You got to play your crowd. I tell my
No
students
doubt.
that,
No doubt.
and that's the best advice anybody's ever given me. You know, my mentors as a DJ, play the hits and play your crowd. You're not playing for yourself.
Right.
You're playing for them.
Right.
So this ain't about you at this time. It's about them.
That's
Right.
the same thing I tell the artists with their music. A lot of artists sit on music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, why you don't got this? Why you don't have this out? I'm like, man, you gotta turn them speakers around. You know what I mean by turn the speaker around? Stop playing it for yourself. Turn them speakers around and let these people hear this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I like about Sid, I love hearing them DJ. It's Cole Dix as well, Terry Franks as well. But my favorite is Sid. No disrespect to the other guys, But my thing is, from the experience and from what I listen to Sid, his blends.
Yes, he do. Yes.
Cause you be like, wow, I would never think
Mix
the
it.
blend
To
that
blend
with
certain
that.
songs. Yeah.
You know, then he have a certain time when he mix certain songs, and he mix them right at the right time. And
Right.
his timing is just his
As a DJ,
impeccable.
that's understanding phrasing and counting and beats and all that kind of stuff. And some people will mix a song at the wrong time,
have to know
and
music.
you killing your crowd, you
Correct.
killing their ears because they're waiting to hear a certain cadence. They're
Correct.
waiting to hear a certain part of the song.
Correct.
And you don't kill that part of the song and rob them of that joy.
Of that joy.
Yeah.
And then dumping into something else. Or
But
mixing
the
to
good
something
part
else.
about Sid, what I like when he DJ, you ain't gotta ask him to play a certain song. Cause
he
he's
gonna
gonna
have
play
it
it, cause
in
it be in
that-
your head. He be
yes.
like, damn, I was just about to go ask him to play that, cause
Awesome, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But that means he studies his music.
Man, the
and he
man
knows
is
it.
gifted.
He knows, yeah, he
You
studies
know,
his music.
You gotta have a
that's
passion
funny.
for it.
Yeah.
Really,
That's
you
funny.
do.
A DJ is not just a person who plays music.
Yeah.
A DJ is a person who studies music.
Right, right.
That's funny because it brings me to a time when you know how you go to the parties or the clubs and the dance floor be full and you be out there jamming, then next time come on, everybody leave.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
Said, you know,
and you leave with that persona
you
like,
don't want to
what
kill
is
your
the
dance
DJ
floor. If you play a
doing?
song and everybody walk up the dance floor,
It's over.
Because I mean, and we've been places and then
And
it
he don't do that.
and it don't get you back on there because then you be like, what did the DJ do, man?
It's hard to get that crowd back.
Yeah.
well, it's hard to get them back
It
once they're
really
in the dance
You
And
floor.
gotta-
I could tell when he in the zone because he have a certain blend of music that he spins, and I love when he do that because I don't hear other DJs doing it, and he blends this old school rock music. One time we was at the back room, and I said, "Oh, you playing this rock music? I wonder if he gonna play cards." And he ended up playing me in my car. I said, "Yeah."
He was one of the first one I heard play "Shout" in a
Yeah.
mix,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love that song, you
Yeah.
guys. And I'm sitting there. It was at the back room again, and I'm sitting there. I said, "Did this man just play Shout?" And I'm out there just saying, "You know what? I love him.
Yeah.
And when
I love
and
him."
when he played
'cause
Let's
he-
Dance, I'll be like, "Oh, let's go,
wow.
Let's Dance." I'm saying,
Yeah,
Well,
I grew up in a small town,
That's
and we watched MTV, so I'm an '80s baby. I grew
That's
up
all
in
you had.
That's all you know.
Silsbee, Texas.
Silsbee.
Okay.
Okay.
Silsbee.
I know about Silsbee.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to kind of switch it up a little bit. Since you've been smoking for a good little while.
Yeah, 1998.
Yeah. So have you dated someone that didn't smoke cigars, and did you turn them on to cigars?
Yes, I have.
And you know, did you introduce it, or did they come to you?
I introduced it because it was a requirement that they had to.
Oh, so you do
accept the
prefer?
Okay.
So you
smoke.
prefer?
I'm a daily smoker.
Right.
To be around me, you have to
You have. Oh, yeah.
appreciate it. So
Right.
a lot of
Or at
them
least
learn-
tolerate it, huh?
Yeah, you
Tolerate,
got to,
right.
You got to,
One
you
or the
gotta
other.
appreciate it, like, because I've smoked every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no doubt,
Okay. What about
be
you,
with
Luke?
me, you got to deal with the smoke.
You
Gotta
gotta
deal
deal
with
with
the
smoke.
You got to deal.
I'm really,
deal
I'll be
breaker.
honest with you, I'm a newbie. I've been,
No doubt.
I only been smoking about maybe a year or two.
Okay.
Lump introduced me into this because he used to come home. We would, we roommates, and he'd come home, smelling. Man, God damn, you smell like tobacco, man. I said, man, you need to come chill. It's the vibe, man. It's a good thing. Man, I'm telling you. So I went one time. He brought me to C-Dot. My first time going to cigar bar. I got introduced to it, and my first cigar was the Connecticut. He didn't want me to go into no heavy blend, so he let me smoke a Connecticut. Smoked the Connecticut, but I didn't. We was talking about getting sick the first time. I inhaled it. Boy, I got sick as a dog. I went in the bathroom and threw up everything. And he laughed at me. I said, "What you laughing at, man? I'm sick, man. I can't smoke this." He said, "Nah, you don't inhale, man. You blow. It's just an enjoyment thing. It's just settle." And after a while, I got addicted. I hooked.
Yeah, hooked
And
on
ever
it.
since then, I've been in the society for the longest, and that's how I got started. But I was a newbie. I didn't like smoke. I don't like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
So I said, "Well, damn, I don't like smoking. Well, then I'm gonna smoke a cigar." But hey, to each his own. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So whenever, this is to our newbies then, since we have two newbies on here. Yeah. What do you prefer flavors, or do you prefer are you willing to try other things other than flavored cigars and things like that?
Like I said earlier in the beginning, I try different sticks just to see what it, what it do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I done had some bad ones. You know what I'm saying? But I got hooked on the T52s through Scarface. Matter of fact, I had a birthday party. Scarface bought me one. That was my first time having it.
Mm-hmm.
When I smoked that, I felt the life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt
That's a good stick.
stress free. I was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it
But
did.
see, I think that comes back to kind of what we discussed before. Those legals are they're strong. They're not for everybody, because I think you said that
I tried a legal for the
tried
first
it,
time
and
on my
it's-
birthday.
yes.
And it
This
made you
past birthday, it made me high.
high.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it was okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
respect, but it's not my
different.
go-to.
Right,
It's different.
for everybody. So I think that
Yeah, for me,
with-
flavored is it.
Yeah, I think with beginners and newbies, you have to kind of try different things and find out what's right for you.
Right.
Yes.
Because everybody's palate is different. You smoke what you smoke, but at the same time, I always like to say, try different things and expand your palate. And sometimes, even if you don't like it, revisit it after a couple of months or maybe about a year or so,
Right.
because you might revisit and like, okay, I think I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Because
talking about the legal
Yeah.
provider. Was it number 9? Legal provider number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nine
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
number
I
9.
mean, that's in my psyche. Okay, like that's one that I kind of dug. And then the other, I told you I like flavored cigars,
Yeah.
but my other favorite that's not flavored is the Amazon Basin
Oh,
Okay. Yes, that's a good one.
because it's smooth.
Yeah, all
And
the way throughout.
it's funny for you to be a newbie. You pick a lot of beginners. You pick a lot of good ones for the
Yeah.
beginner. And that goes to say, as you go on, your palate expands.
Yeah.
This was good then, but I'm ready to graduate, and I'm ready to move on.
Yes.
And it's okay to go back. 'Cause you
Right.
can go back.
But
It's
everybody
what
have
your
a
preference.
favorite.
Everybody have. And if you're anything like me, you smoke according to your mood or how you want to feel. Because if you visited different things, then you know how you're going to feel smoking different things.
Right.
So if I want to feel a certain way today, then I know what to go to. So you don't have to just stick with just that one thing.
Right.
I agree with that.
But you know what's funny about this whole cigar thing? The culture becoming so big. You got weed smokers leaving weed
To smoke
To smoke cigars,
This is true.
you're
Yeah.
right.
That is true.
You know,
I have one of my sisters. My sister is, and one of my sisters and my brothers are into smoking cigars now, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
My sister called me yesterday. She was like, I need to go somewhere and smoke a cigar and have me a cognac, and I'm like, okay.
It's a whole switch.
So I'm trying to educate her about
Right.
cigars and what to smoke.
Right.
Yeah.
Just according to what I like. But as we talked earlier, you have to go with what you like. You have to experiment.
Right.
You're gonna
Yeah.
smoke
Right,
some that
right.
you don't like. You're gonna
Right.
smoke some that you do like, and
like.
then you find your lane.
Find
you
your
find
niche.
what you like. Like I found my lane. Like I like Drew Estate cigars. I mean, you really can't go wrong with too many Drew Estates
Right,
to me.
right.
But that's what I like.
Well, see, the thing about Drew Estates is they have so many different cigars you
Right.
can choose from.
Correct.
Everything from acid to, and then you have the different branches from Drew Estate that he
Yeah.
owns. So you
Right.
have so many you can choose from.
Because you can hit
So-
all them sisters and they all different.
Yeah.
Right.
You can hit, they're
Those
all
sisters are a whole
different.
Correct.
thing.
Right.
I kind of laugh at what's going on today with everybody smoking cigars, because I remember back like in the early 2000s when you would go to the club, you would only see like one or two people
One or
smoke
two.
cigars. And
Yeah.
I was one of those people.
everybody.
Yeah.
Now you see
Everybody.
vendors and people
Yeah.
smoking
Right.
because, I used to walk through the club with a stick and people would frown on it. And now everybody, I know you got a cigar on you. I know you got one. Let me get one.
And now
it's
you
funny
can't
to me
even
right
go
now.
to some places, but some people don't even go into places if you can't smoke the cigar.
Yeah.
They
It's
don't.
true.
They
It's
really
true.
don't.
If somebody asks you for a cigar, are you going to turn somebody on like a non-cigar smoker? Do you give them one of your good sticks, or do you have?
No, what I do is what I
don't know
do
about
is
nobody else.
I keep stuff like Lone Wolf, the little cheap $2
Yeah.
stick, in the bottom of my
Yes.
box, and I'll give them that because one of the things I hate is if I give you a cigar and you only smoke half.
Right, and it sits in a tray, and you looking at it like they're wasting.
Because I'm like, I could have smoked that, bro. So like,
If you I give you a $10 cigar, you better smoke it.
and then like
You better sit there and take
my
it.
good sticks, you
So now I went off for a newbie in my good stick.
Yeah, no,
like,
no, no.
like a flying pig. I would never give anybody a flying pig.
No.
So I've heard about flying pigs. What's the deal with the flying pig? I've heard about the flying pig.
It's a powerhouse.
You've had it?
Yeah.
I never had it. I
It's
meant
a
to try
powerhouse.
I only smoke it on my
It's a
birthday.
powerhouse.
That's it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's for that special
So
occasion.
that's your
Yeah.
special stick.
It's a special
It's not my favorite. My favorite is Monte Cristo number 2.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I've
it.
heard you mention that one.
But why nobody ever talk about the Cohiba?
Because to me, it's overrated.
It is
And that's
I
what
was
just
about to say
gonna
the
say.
same thing.
I really think it's
not a bad
overrated.
stick. It's just overrated.
And-
I think
And I
because
think-
it's hard to get.
And it's a lot of fake ones out there.
It's hard to
Oh,
get. It's a
definitely.
lot of fake ones, and when you first hear about cigars and anybody smoking, that's
That's
the first thing
bring
people
up.
holler.
Say
That's the
Cohiba.
first thing people
Yeah.
bring out, and it's
I'm
like,
like-
and you think, oh, you must be somebody because you smoke, and then when you
cool.
get into the cigar world, you realize that
9 times out of 10, if you ask somebody, they say, "Okay, I smoke a cigar." I'm like, "Okay, what do you like?" You're trying to spark a conversation
Yeah.
about cigars, and the first thing that they say is a Cohiba.
Yeah.
That automatically tells me that you are
you
not
don't
a
know
real
what
cigar
you.
smoker.
Yeah, you're not a
They'll
cigar
say I
smoker.
smoked a
I
Cuban.
smoke a
and
Cuban. Like, which one?
Yeah,
Because there's
Well,
so
you
many
know-
out there.
Well, you
You
know,
smoke- you smoke
you
the
You
know,
said there's a lot of fake ones out there too.
yeah,
there's
well,
a
you
lot
know
of fake
where the Cubans I get, it's like, well, no, you don't really get Cubans because they don't have Cubans.
I went on a cruise ship and brought some
It's not-
Cubans back.
And they
and
come
I'm
back in a
like,
glass case. I'm like, that's not what it. That's not what we.
I went to
not-
Miami and smoked this and smoked, man. You smoking that fake stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, but they love to throw that out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Good.
smoke Cubans.
I'm proud to see, you know, the community grow, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, all the fellowship that's going on, you know, the guys and the ladies getting together. I really like that.
So you do welcome the women into the
I
cigar.
find it sexy
I
when
think
a
I was saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
You know,
Thank you very
like,
much.
you meet all kind of people in the cigar community.
Yes.
Like, you know, doctors, bikers, musicians, DJs. You know,
Every walk
producers.
of life.
Every walk of life.
doubt.
Every walk of
And I
life.
think that's the beauty of it because you don't
is.
have just a certain, you know, you have a certain group of people because most people think like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's not a cheap hobby that we do, but at the same time, you don't have. It's not just for people who are way up here. You
Yeah.
have everybody from
Right.
every walks of life, and you can take something. You have conversations with different people. You network with people. You
Correct.
meet. You know, people. I've seen relationships come up out of this.
That's
I've
how,
seen,
that's how
you know,
my business got started through a
Lots of
lot of
relationships.
all my businesses got started through the cigar culture.
Right.
So it's
know
a
what I'm saying?
networking.
It is
a
a
I
networking
learned a
thing.
lot through
One
the
thing it
cigar
did-
culture.
One thing, you know, shoot, we gonna talk after this. We might end up doing something together.
Right.
Right,
See?
see collaboration.
That's
See
all.
that
I got
pick up.
it. Yeah, I got it.
I know one thing it did me too is like you step up. It's just a rapport. You step up the dress game. You step up. You say I'm
Yeah.
finna go to an upscale cigar. I'm gonna step up my game.
Right.
And
And
it
that's-
ain't even to impress anybody. It's just the way you,
You
feel.
feel like
It's a
you wanna
feeling
do.
that it gives you. It's
Right.
like
Right.
you know I'm this. I'm
And you
that.
have the different places where you can go where you can dress down if you want to be comfortable
Right.
and casual. You
Right.
have that. Then you have the other places where you can go to and you can dress up, dress nice. Even at the casual places, you can dress
You can
up, dress
still-
nice. You
yeah.
can still do that. But it's just you have that. Like you just wake up one day and like, okay, I just want to do it. I want to, make myself pretty, make myself look good, put on my good stuff, and we can just go and enjoy yourself and have good conversation.
One thing we all share is like no judgment. It's a cigar smoker.
Absolutely.
That's my sister. That's my brother. We smoke cigars.
Yeah.
There's no judgment.
Shit, I
You
went
know what
on
else I
dates on cigar
find that
smoking.
cigars is universal even between races and cultures.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, you know, you can
Right.
go to a predominantly, white cigar bar.
Right.
You know, cigars are cigars. You know,
Yeah.
and people who enjoy cigars, it is a universal type of culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been my experience.
Right.
And that's true.
Right.
It is. It really is.
So, let me ask, as DJs and artists,
Yeah.
Big said,
Okay, yeah, that's right.
how do y'all stay up to the latest trends, like the music trends and things like that influence your sound or what you play? Do you?
Well, I use record pools.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use
Same
a lot
thing,
of record
record pool.
pools,
Record
and then I have. I'm in a group that's called the DJ Information Group. Shout out to the DJ Information Group. We have a podcast every week where we interview artists with new material. So
Okay.
we all share a lot of material. So that's how I keep up with the latest
nice.
stuff.
A weekly podcast?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I can get you on there too. So.
Absolutely.
See, y'all see how the
Great.
networking is
More
going on?
network.
I would
See?
love to. I would
See?
love to.
Yeah.
I would love to.
But that's
Yeah.
what that's what it's about. That is what it's about.
And that's DJs from all over the country.
Yes,
So-
not just local. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because that communication goes a long way, and that's what you want. You want to not just be in this particular
Correct.
sector. You want to be
Because
international.
yeah,
Right.
you want to be able to make those connections,
Yes.
not just local, because you don't want to be local.
Right.
You
I
just
have a question for the DJs and Big Sid. For
Yep.
Miss Dana and Big Sid. When it comes to DJ and when it comes to music, it's been said, and I've heard this several times, that Texas is kind of behind when it comes to music. You hear music other places,
Yeah.
and then by the time we hear it, it's old to them.
That's always been the thing. That's always been
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know, when you travel and you go to New York or you go to LA or you
Yeah.
go to Detroit, you go to the East Coast, you go to DC, you go to Miami, you will hear stuff before you hear it down there.
Yes.
So how do you introduce that to Texas? Are you open to introducing it to Texas, or is it like a trial thing that you would bring? I'm just not. I mean,
Yeah.
Do you, how do you bring it into?
I'm more open format, so I listen to a lot of music from everywhere else and in Houston because
Yeah.
when I talk to the people on the East Coast and the West, all they know is Scarface and Slim Thug, but there are more artists here. But I surprise them when I know about what's going on in their region.
And you're supposed to.
Right.
Okay,
That's educated.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a lot easier now because of technology.
Yes.
Because of the internet.
Yes,
People
correct.
are exposed to music in other places more so than, back in the 90s and the 2000s. Now, people are more exposed to stuff because of the internet, because of Spotify and just all these different formats that
Right.
people have to
Correct.
be introduced to music.
Correct.
So it's a lot better now for DJs.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. You don't have to carry all those crates around. You just need a hard drive or a flash
And
drive.
you could play something and somebody will have heard it before,
Yes.
or they'll be like, okay.
Okay.
Because people are not just going, unfortunately for commercial radio, people are not just going to radio to be exposed to
Right,
the music.
right.
They're not waiting for a song to be broke on the radio. You can break a song on
YouTube.
someone else and it
YouTube,
blow up and
especially
never even play
YouTube.
on the radio.
Right.
Okay.
By the time it plays on the radio, it's already a
It's
hit.
already old.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
older than them too.
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand that because like I say, I search for artists through YouTube, and I have found a couple of artists, as a matter of fact, that I'm about to work with through YouTube, and some of this music that they did is they tell me, oh man, I did that 5 years ago. I'm like, wow, man, it don't sound like it. You know what I'm saying? It sound like it's new.
Right.
I got newer stuff. I said, nah, man, they really never, the masses never heard this. Let's take this and do with that. That's what I did with Code Dix. Code Dix had his stuff. Code Dix recorded that 3 years prior to us hooking up with him, and all we did was revamp a couple of things and went with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we put his stuff out. When she's gonna put out new stuff, same thing with me. If I tell y'all how old Make a Bounce is, y'all will laugh.
Oh.
Make a Bounce is
okay.
over 20 years
You
old.
know, a lot of artists have songs they've been sitting on for years.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of somebody specific, but they may have written a song 10, 15 years ago, and they just not putting it out because
Right.
Some of
because
Lizzo's material.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Lizzo did the same thing.
timing and then revamping it. It might be a song that you wrote and it didn't have the right mix or the right production at the
Yeah.
time,
Yes.
and then you go through and revamp it.
Correct.
That's why you got people like Prince and
Yeah.
people who have passed on. Prince
these
got a
catalogs.
vault full
They
of
got a
music
vault, yeah.
that he wrote 20 years ago that
Right.
that he could still put it out.
Because I
You
know
know.
that's how they used to say Tupac was still alive. Because it's like, how is this being
You
used?
still have all that
and to
material.
A regular person that does not understand the entertainment world on that aspect, you do question me like,
Right.
Yes.
how does
How
that
did they
got a
do
song? He
that?
been
Yeah.
dead 10 years.
Right.
Because most rappers, it's more probably more prevalent in the rap community that rappers will just record. They just continuously stay in the studio and record because you never know, first of all, what's going to happen, and you never know what's going to hit or what you're going to. So you just go and record. You may not necessarily have the intention of putting it out at that particular time, but eventually you might put it out. So you just keep creating. You just keep creating.
Keep creating. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. That's the whole key to the game. Creativity.
So I kind of want to ask the seasoned cigar smokers up here, what would you recommend to newbies as far as cigars? How would you go about introducing them?
You know me. I'm always on that sweet tip because I'm like, I know Dana mentioned to me at one time. She said it's just the taste when you lick your lip and that sweetness.
You get that sweetness off of it.
For me, to a newbie and introducing them, if you really want them, I wouldn't put them on nothing bold or medium because it may, like you said, it may make you sick, throw you off, and then you was like, I don't want
none of it.
So a sweeter, I have not ran into a sweet cigar that I've had that effect on me. It's more of like a dessert thing, so I would introduce them to, and I wouldn't be afraid to introduce them to a Groovy Blue. It is a very good beginner.
It's a good
It tastes
introduction.
very good. It's very, and then once they get there, then you can go into your them five sisters, the Fat Bottom Betties and the Mary
Sweet
Janes
Almond
and the Acids. And I just found out today because again, you never stop learning in the cigar world.
Right.
I did not know Acid and Betty Body, the Fat Bottoms was by the same person.
Yeah,
I did not know it was
yeah.
So I would introduce them to a sweet.
You'll start a sweet.
Yeah.
Even a male? Even men?
A male. I mean,
no, I'm just saying because there's a thing on that,
I
like
have a lot of male friends
right.
that are casual cigar smokers. I have one in particular. That's all I buy him. If he's like, I know you at the cigar bar today. Can you give me some cigars? I wouldn't dare take him nothing else but sweet because I already know he's gonna be like, what is this you brought?
And I don't think there's anything wrong with a man.
Right, that was gonna be my next question because there is a stigma just how there is with just
Sam,
we know. You know what? Before I go, what's your thoughts on that?
I would never start anybody off with a sweet cigar. Never.
Yeah, but I mean,
but why is that?
But if you start them off with a stronger cigar,
is that
they
a
may
personal?
not like it. They may not,
right? Is it personal?
Never do that.
Okay.
I would say get that out of the way. Let's start you off with like a Camacho, Connecticut.
Like a good Connecticut.
I would never give you something sweet.
Somebody gave me a Camacho for my birthday this year, and I didn't care for it.
See, usually,
I didn't
like,
care for it.
as far as me, I try to. I talk to the person first, like, what do you like? Because if you like coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, if you like chocolate, things like that, then that can kind of guide me to where I can take you. Because, like, sometimes I'll get like a Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne because that's a milder and it's creamy.
Yes.
You know, especially if they're a coffee drinker. That's something out. Instead of always going strictly for the sweet. Right. Now if they've been introduced to sweet, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me. If that's all you graduate you to something else, even if it is a Fat Bottom Betty or something like that, let me introduce you to something else other than just a Tatiana's. Right. If that's what you like, that's what you like. I'm not sitting up here telling you not to smoke it because you smoke what you like.
Yes.
That's your business. That's your palate. That's what you like. But if you're asking me my opinion and to introduce you to something else, then yeah, I'm going to guide you to something that I think that is a better quality. Right. Of tobacco, and it's not just full of just whatever they use to make it sweet. It has a balance of sweetness and tobacco in it. So that's just my personal thing. As far as men smoking sweets, again, that's their business.
I would introduce a man to Tatiana, but
I know some that smoke them too.
Yeah,
but I goes back to say you learn until they. That'll let you know if they're serious. Like you said, you have a conversation, if they're serious about it, then you will kind of switch them up because you don't ever want them to believe that when you go in there and you pick a cigar, every one of them is sweet. Right. And that's the thing you'll get into too. If you do introduce and all you introduce them to is the sweet, they'll think every time they go and grab a cigar, it's going to be sweet and they're going to get a shock. If they don't educate, my biggest thing I would say, educate yourself.
Right.
Look at something, take a picture of the label, read about it, study it, research it.
I remember when I first started and I didn't know much about cigars, and I remember me and my cousin we were at HEB one time at the humidor. We were out in Humble, as a matter of fact, and I didn't know how to pick up a cigar. And so I was just kind of picking the cigar on the label. I'm like, that looks like a good cigar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Doing the smell test and all that.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? And I'm glad that I'm around people who know cigars that I can gain some knowledge from.
Absolutely.
And then starting to learn how to just kind of research what I like and then trying different things.
Right.
I've come a long way in that respect. So
And then another question you got to ask them is, how long you plan on sitting down smoking a cigar for?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many different things.
I remember when I couldn't sit down and smoke a
Yeah,
whole cigar.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
could
sit
not
down
sit
15 minutes, I got to get you a little short.
Yeah.
Right, so you get
You plan on smoking for a couple of hours, then we get the big ring gauge, the 60 grade gauge. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I believe that is a wrap for us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I really enjoyed all of this conversation.
Now, before-
This is awesome.
I
I know, right? I know, I
Before,
know.
I
I
didn't even ask
don't
you
want to
about my
cut you off, but
influence,
before we
man.
I think we have
before we
something
go,
going
I
on
need
up
to
here.
introduce you guys and the cigar world to a contest that the ladies of TCA
Yes.
are having,
Okay.
and it is a contest for the newbies.
Yes.
So what I need all the newbies to do is I need you to go to Facebook. I need you to like and share our page and comment newbie. And if you go on YouTube, I want you to like, subscribe, and share. And then we have a cigar week coming up the week before Memorial
next
Day.
Saturday, I
The 20
believe. Yeah, next
so
Saturday.
and that
May
Saturday,
29th.
yes,
Yes,
May
May
29th.
29th.
That Saturday is TCA's day. We're hosting, and we're gonna give 6 starter kits for the newbies. We're gonna give away 6 starter
Yes.
kits personalized by us, the panel ourselves. And also, we have a privilege to be sitting down with 2 of our artists that are going to be
Yes.
performing. So
Yes.
you guys get to hear
Yes.
Boogie. You guys get to hear Miss Dana. She's awesome
Yes,
singing
she
DJ.
is.
Awesome.
Can I just interject something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
That most people don't know, and that is, y'all are familiar with the song "Time to Drop" by Fat Pat?
Yeah.
You're on there.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
That's
that
Dana.
is-
that's you
Miss
singing?
That's Dana.
Wow.
There's a short story. It's a long story. I'm gonna make it short. Is that when I did that song, they called somebody else had done the song before me, and they wanted to redo the song. So somebody called me, to come and do a session, and the only thing I required was that my name be on the credits.
Yes.
They did not put my name on the credits.
Oh, wow.
So I find myself, even 20 years later, always having to tell people, yes,
That's
that's
you.
me on that song, because a lot of people don't know.
Well, now
And
we
then-
know.
So I'm
yes.
not like trying to toot my own home. I'm trying to let
No,
people
you
know.
need to toot
because
your
my
own
name is
horn.
not on there, my credit's not on.
Yeah.
But in Billboard, if you look at the Billboard chart, my name is on there.
That's
But
right.
if you, it's funny because if you ever heard Dana sing and you go back and listen to the song,
You'll
it
hear her
sounds
voice.
just like her.
Her voice.
But like you said,
Yeah.
if you didn't know.
Yeah.
And also, we want to send a shout out to this one. I know you guys probably can't see the whole thing, but this lounge in the background is gorgeous.
Yes.
They're doing their
Yes.
reopening, and it's his legacy, and it's
Legacy.
located at 3130 Main Street out in Stafford, Texas. It's a really nice place, you guys. You need to come visit.
Yes.
So we want to send a shout out to them, thank them for
And
hosting
thank
us
them.
on
Thank you.
today.
Cigars
Absolutely.
Lounge
Yes.
and kitchen.
And the
they're gonna
yes,
have
and the
the kitchen
kitchen,
open.
and,
Yeah.
and this rum punch.
Yes.
But we want to thank our guests. Thank you guys
Yes,
for
thank
joining
you
us.
so much for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank
Wow,
you.
thank you.
I'm
I
looking
appreciate
forward,
that.
looking forward. And
Yes.
Sad, are you mixing anything during Cigar Week? Are you going to be
Yeah, I have
DJing?
to do a wedding and I'm doing lumps party.
Oh, the brunch.
Okay, what
Okay.
day is the brunch? And
That's that Saturday.
Saturday morning.
27.
And I'm also performing at that as well.
Saturday. Okay.
okay, so you guys join us for Cigar Week
And
on
where's it gonna be
TCA
located?
Day.
At the back room.
The back room.
Back room.
Okay. So look up the back room, and we invite you guys. We invite the newbies. To come out on TCA Day. The location will be announced. Just look on TCA page, ladies. The TCA page. All the information is listed, and we invite everybody.
Yes.
It's a great community. It's a great starter. It's a great opener. You want to be introduced, so we're gonna have a very good time. I'm looking forward to Cigar
Yes,
Week.
it's
Hope
gonna be
y'all
a
got
good
your-
time.
hope y'all got
Same
your
here.
outfits together.
Oh,
All
man.
right.
You know how I get down,
All
right?
right, now you
You know I'm
All
coming.
All right.
You
well,
know I'm coming.
Thank you all for being here, and
All right, all right.
everybody out there, please like, follow, subscribe, share. Ladies of TCA Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all of those platforms. All right, and don't forget to bring the smoke.
Right, bring the smoke.
TCA all day, baby. Heavy Empire.